Cedar Point is getting ready to dump a bunch of money into Top Thrill Dragster's reimagining for the 2024 season, so when could they really open a new coaster? We've heard that their capital isn't going to be used for quite some time.
Exactly.
Could it be the very next year? Well, you guys are just going to have to stay tuned to find out, because today we're going to get into
when they are going to possibly add a new coaster. We're going to go through some of the reasons why we think what we think.
And we're going to go over the ground up potential too, because if you really think about it, the only ground up coaster they've gotten since 2016 is the Wild Mouse. So we are definitely in need of a very good ride here at Cedar Point. Obviously, I'm thinking, more along the lines of what they need here, but we're going to go down all the logical lines of thinking and explain what Cedar Point could be thinking and when they're going to get a new ground up roller coaster for all of us coaster enthusiasts at the greatest park on the planet. So with the obvious investment going in 2024 for the Top Thrill Dragster reimagining and all of the capital with Cedar Fair, they are having record profits right now according to all the investor calls, and they got another one coming up here in August, so stay tuned for that because that's an interesting one. We heard some other not so good news, but we'll touch on that later on. But back to this, when do you think we could see them free up some more capital for like a ground up coaster? Do you think 2025 is a sensible time, or do you think that they would more or less let their dragster reimagining do its thing for a year or two, run its course before they finally do a new ground up record breaking potentially coaster at Cedar Point?
Well, to be honest with you, I think 2025 was their initial point at one point in time in their planning and all. I guarantee you the Top Thrill Dragster thing has
and
put
COVID,
that, and COVID put all of that on the back burner. So definitely not 2025.
I'm thinking not for 2025 either, just due to the fact that they're going to have so much capital tied up in 2024, and they're going to want to see their return on the investment fully come back before they're like, okay, let's start planning something new as soon as our new thing just opens. And I know it's redundant to say that with Wild Mouse and then Dragster back to back, but Wild Mouse was an area and Dragster's a huge ride and something that's been down for a few years, and it wasn't planned to be down. So I think that's one of the, it's just kind of taking up the chunk of money now. It's going to be 2024, 2025's big thing. Wild Mouse is running its course this year. It's going to be fun for families still going forward, obviously, but the big thrill is obviously going to be the Top Thrill Dragster's new ride, the new theme, Zamperla, seeing how they do, the excellence of Cedar Point, if it's maintained. Like, all these things are up in question. So I don't think 2025 is a year where they're going to be like, hey, let's just go throwing money at all of our, they're going to be careful there.
I will say this. I think in 2025, we will start seeing them, or some sort of movement over there in Frontierland.
Maybe over in that.
With the ropes and all that we're at.
Yeah, the rope course, Adventure Island.
We'll see some movement over there. I think they'll start moving stuff around, getting rid of things. I honestly think that was the initial plan, was that area somehow getting some kind of a coaster or something in there. So I think that's going to be the next
thinking that's the next plot. I don't know. We've seen some movement in other areas over there by Thunder Canyon, so guys, stay tuned for that as well. We don't know what that was all about, but there's been some land clearing over there. But moving on to the 2026 season, some real potential for a ground up coaster here. So 2026 is where it gets really, really interesting because they have a lot of potential plots. We've gone over potential plots once before, but I think we need to revisit that video and kind of redo it. That was an older video of ours. Touch on the plots where they could potentially build new things at Cedar Point, because there are some good plots. I don't think they have to remove coasters in order to do this either. I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're landlocked. They are, but being creative and using the areas in the proper way goes a long way. I mean, look at Hershey Park. They got their, Sky Ride and some other stuff that intertwine, and Great Bear intertwines with stuff. And then you got Kennywood where Phantom's Revenge goes over the, I'm blanking on the wooden coaster there, but, either way, it's just a little creativity, and Cedar Point is, known for innovating and being super creative, so it's doable without removing coasters. But going to 2026 here, we're thinking, you said Adventure Island. I don't know, Tony Clark talked about it a little bit at Coaster Stock, which was kind of fun. Coaster Mania, sorry, I'm getting them all confused again. Too many events in one year, guys. But at Coaster Mania, he mentioned that they didn't have any immediate plans for it. But immediate isn't, it's 2023. Immediate's not 2026. That's down the line. So maybe.
He definitely let us know that
It's on the board.
nothing was going to be happening back there next year at all.
Right, or 2025 it felt like.
Yes.
But, you know, moving on, we could see some of the clearing going on and a potential coaster. Now, what could we see back there? Obviously, I'm thinking a GCI or maybe a flats
Gerstlauer.
ride package back there. Yeah, even a Gerstlauer lit up back there would be kind of cool, even though I still think they need that night ride wooden experience. It'd be so cool back there.
They do.
They would have such a, and I also think that the connecting path going over to, you know, the Midway over by Gemini and whatnot is going to, or Camp Snoopy is going to be happening. I'm pretty sure we'll see an expansion like that at some point. But 2026 is one of the years where we got to start looking for it. I'm not fully sold on 2026 being a year where they go all in on a coaster and everything yet. I'm still thinking, you know, it may be down the line a little bit. Let us know what you guys are thinking down below. And what do you think, Mom? How are you feeling about that?
I'm thinking it's going to be more 2026, or the announcement will be 2026, and we get it in 2027.
Yeah, 2027 is more or less the year I'm looking for. So why don't we go ahead and dive into what we think it could be and where they're actually going to build this, because we've said Adventure Island and stuff, so let's go ahead and get into this, guys. 2027 Cedar Point, the return of the wooden hyper roller coaster.
Woo!
Okay, guys, I'm kind of kidding there. I mean, I would love to see it. Gravity Group could probably do it, but that's not what we're predicting for 2027 here at all.
No.
Let's go ahead and get into it. How much money do we think we're going to sink into a new coaster at Cedar Point in 2027? We going like, you know, 8 to 15 million? We going 15 to 20? Or are we exceeding this? Are we talking B&M and intimate numbers here? Are we going 25 plus? What are we doing here with this? Mach is also up there too. So I mean, what are we going with here?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, budget questions.
I'm going between 8 and 15 million. I think they're
gonna
going to
low
keep
end?
it on the low end for sure.
Okay, you're thinking low-end investment, even though dragster is likely a low-end investment now since it was the lower bid that was taken, potentially?
True, but dragster was also not in the plan, so they may have had to split what they originally had thought they were going to be using and use some of that for dragsters, so they might have to budget down lower.
Spooky times here at Ghoster Coasters, guys, because I kind of disagree with you. I'm thinking 2027 might be the year they kind of sink a lot of money into something, because the Wild Mouse wasn't a huge investment. Dragster is a big investment, but I don't think it's the grand scale thing that they were looking for to, you know, be the new park, you know, pleaser and everything. Steel Vengeance was 2018, so we're talking 9 years at that point since they've had a world beater roller coaster potentially earn the #1. I mean, Dragster's obviously going to be in that talk again, but a ground up one, we're talking 9 years since a really, really good coaster.
It depends on how Cedar Point is going. The direction
I'm definitely
going.
going
I mean, right
with
now,
2027 being a bigger investment.
Family pleasing and drawing in families.
I'm still going in the
theming
15 to 20 million range, guys. That's my prediction, is 15 to 20. She says 8 to 15, so I'm going a little higher there. I think it's going to be a mid-scale at least coaster. I don't think they're going to short-end it.
I think that they're going to go that route. One, they're more into the family aspect of things. I think it's going to be more of a family coaster again, but more aggressive than the Wild Mouse, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't see that. We're having a split opinion on this 2027 coaster, guys. Let us know what you think down below, because this is all fun to speculate here. So let's actually get into where we think they're going to build this. Definitely going to get rid of like Rougarou before they get rid of anything, right?
No, I heard Iron Dragon.
But what about the Corkscrew? I mean, they were always talking about that, you know, possible extension to Dragster and getting rid of Corkscrew, so...
No, silly. They're not getting rid of any coasters.
We have plenty of plots to work with here at Cedar Point. I mean, up there in the front by the pavilion, per se, over by Blue Streak, that could be a big one.
Absolutely.
Then, of course, we got Snake River Falls potentially being taken out, which we just said no rides taken out, but Snake River Falls is at the end of its service life.
Coasters taken out.
True. And, I mean, Thunder Canyon area would make for a nice roller coaster, I heard.
Absolutely.
Then we got, you know, the Forbidden Frontier on Adventure Island, you know, what they're going to do over there. We could even see, you know, maybe some possible, you know, movement of off-site buildings.
Here's another thought for you. Adventure Island and Thunder Canyon are right by each other.
True that. I mean, could you imagine seeing two things?
And another coaster going over the Midway.
That
over
would be
there in
awesome there.
Frontierland.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. Kind of like, I mean,
Ooh.
Canada's Wonderland just announced some cool things, and that GCI mine train through the mine town would be super cool back there. You know, I'm just saying, like,
Right.
whoo, they could do so much with Fort Sandusky and all the, it would be
That
perfect
would be
back
really
there.
cool, yeah.
There's so many coasters they could do it. So where do we actually think they're going to build the next ground up roller coaster at Cedar Point at?
I like my idea, the Thunder Canyon Adventureland.
Adventure Island, I'm thinking,
Island.
yeah, more Adventure Island focused. But yeah, Adventure Island is probably where I think they're going to go with the next roller coaster. And hey, I'd like to be wrong, so don't flame us for that. I just think it's kind of where they're going to focus it because they closed the whole area down and it's like just a big wasted space. Everything else is being used for the most part. The pavilion still draws in visitors. I mean, you know, Snake River Falls still gets it. They all get their thing, but Adventure Island is just sitting there. So I think that's kind of going to be where their focus is because they're a business and they want to make money and return on investment. So that would make the most sense in my eyes. Or could they even, you know, condense, you know, all them Snoopy lands and the kiddie areas into one and use that area? I mean, that is also up in the board too. But again, I'm saying Adventure Island is where I think they're going to do it for 2027, as does my mom.
Yes.
So what could we potentially see be built back there?
GCI.
No, Gravity Group.
No, GCI.
I'm saying Gravity Group.
I'm saying GCI.
GCI makes fun, exhilarating rides that are low to the ground and whatnot, but I'm saying Gravity Group, something like The Voyage.
But GCI would be more family oriented.
I mean, I guess you got a point there, but I'm saying if they're trying to cut down on maintenance workers and whatnot, with Steel Vengeance already being a problem to maintain, wouldn't a hybrid type wooden coaster like The Voyage from the Gravity Group make the most sense with a steel structure?
Yes, but look at Mystic Timbers. They don't have that many problems.
Yeah, but then again, they don't have staffing issues.
Well,
let's get into this now.
That's another story.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff going on at the park. So
Caught me on that
realistically, we just kind of want to see a wooden roller coaster built back there.
Yes.
There's plenty of other options.
Yeah, there
What
are.
we want is a GCI or a Gravity Group. I would love to see a Gravity Group. Maybe even like, you know, one of the inverting ones like Mind Blower. But hey, I know that one's having some problems and they just did some new Titan track updates on it and whatnot, or 308 retrack or something along the lines. RMC, something. Somebody did something. It was RMC. I know that, but they added their track to it, and I know that's problematic, but Gravity Group has shown with the Beast, Grizzly at King's Dominion, their perfect retracking skills with their new technology. So I'd love to see that back there. And man, I'm just saying a hyper wooden roller coaster would be cool too. I got big dreams though. So what else could they potentially be building back there? I know you said something fun earlier.
Well, they could definitely go with like a Gerstlauer or a Mach.
A Gerstlauer or a Mach would be phenomenal in that area. Wow, I didn't even really think of those two. I mean, a Gerstlauer lit up in that area would be so cool because you would kind of see it peering out over the trees as you went back there.
You'd be able to see a glow above the trees.
And you'd just be immersed in some experience as soon as you got back there because their lighting packages are top tier. I mean, look at Knott's Berry Farms. They got one of the best ones out there. So it's just one of those things. I would like to see that, but I'm not sure about ride models my favorite. Again, it'd be pretty cool though. What else with that Mach? Ooh, a launch coaster back there or something like that? Or what else could they do?
I don't know if they would go with another launch just because they've got Maverick and the new Top Thrill Dragster Reimagined project going right now.
True.
So I think anything launching is out of the question.
So maybe just like a Mach, you know, anything back there. Extreme spinner guys.
Yeah, they don't have
they got launches on them, but you know, it'd be a sweet difference of launches. It'd be a cool ride. So maybe something like Pursuit of Happiness back there would be amazing, or Time Traveler.
Right.
I'm just saying, guys, I think Kings Island's kind of a better fit for that. But anyway, Cedar Point might be the ones willing to drop that much money on one. And in my personal opinion, I think if we're gonna go the mid-size family route,
they might do a surf coaster.
The perfect coaster for me would be a Vekoma.
Ooh.
Like Big Bear Mountain. And I know I just predicted this for Kings Islands too because it fits, but I mean, who's going to build it first? It fits at both parks, and that would be phenomenal back there because, again, family friendly, in the mid-scale range, and it would be a phenomenal night ride back there, and you would theme it really well. Big Bear Mountain does this very well. So it's one of those things I would like to see. What would you guys like to see back there? What do you think Cedar Point will actually build for their 2027 coaster? If it is 2027, what year are you thinking? 2026? Are we crazy? Are we off on anything? Let us know down in the comments, guys. Make sure you hit that like button and definitely subscribe. Even if you disagree with us, we want to have these conversations with you. friendly way. This is all for fun, guys. We just want to see great roller coasters come to these parks. So again, let us know your wildest ideas, what you want, and what you realistically think will come. Make sure you leave all them comments down there. We've had a great time doing all of these.
Yes.
So, as always,
thank you for being a part of this spooky community and for
coaster ghosting with Ghoster Coasters.
Have a great night.
And stay tuned for that next coaster at Cedar Point.
Absolutely.
And some dragster teasers coming soon.